Hello and welcome to angryexpat.com, the Understanding Uber for Parents video. I'm Lara, hi, and I'm going to walk you through it. Now, we have all had that experience where we have had to explain some tech situation to mum or dad. Mum or dad, you've been in that situation where something seems really easy and we're trying to explain it to you and you don't get it because we're talking so fast and we don't know why you don't understand how Instagram works. Do not fear. I've been in that situation as an expat where I've been away from mum and dad over the seas and trying to explain something like Uber, which seems quite simple, over the phone gets to the point where there's like steam coming out of your ears and everyone's getting a little intense. Let's not do that. Let me explain it to you. Let's just take a breather. Now, Uber. Uber is a way of traveling internationally in different cities. It's like a cab. So it's a replacement for a cab. People can sign up who are your neighbors, anyone who can drive and passes certain background checks, car checks. You have to have a certain level of car to drive for Uber, can drive. So it's just like being dropped off by someone in your local neighborhood. It's a really, really great system and it has been growing exponentially since it started. And I think that's due to people just liking it. I love it. As a female, being in different cities that I don't always know the language, or being on a dark corner at night after you come out of a restaurant, it's just a safer way of doing it. And I'll explain why in a little bit. First of all, I wanted to address the number one concern that my parents had, which was safety. Now, Uber works off a system where you connect your credit card to the system, so you never have to hand away cash. It's all done through your credit card, which at first is a little scary because you're wondering, how secure is this? But this company has been booming. It's one of the biggest companies that's growing at the moment internationally, and it hasn't had security issues or many. So you're much safer to go this way than carrying cash in a cab where you just don't know what the driver's going to do. I have never had a problem with it, and I'm hoping that you don't either. So I'm guessing that you may have someone techie in your world who might be able to help you download the app. If you don't, there will be another video that I will walk through the app situation and how to download it. But what you will need is a smartphone that can take on apps. So the flip phones, unfortunately, are out the door for this one. But it can be an Android, it doesn't have to be an iPhone, it can be anything that you can download an app with. Here are my apps. This is the Uber app. That one right there that says Uber. You just click it. Pretty simple so far. Now, it's really, really easy. It's an easy interface. So right up the top here, it's going to say, hey, we understand that you want an Uber. Where to, right? So you just need to know where you're going. It's best to have an address. I've always found it better. And particularly a suburb, if you're in somewhere like LA or New York, where sometimes street names can double up, it gets confusing, just try and have as much information as you can have. Otherwise, if you know that you're going to a certain restaurant with a certain name that is the only one in town, you can pop that in too. So it's kind of connected to Google. It can talk to Google and say, hey, yeah, is this where you're going in Santa Monica or whatever? So you pop in where to. Just if you look down here at the little map, there is a little blue dot and it's kind of pinging, which means that's you and it can track you wherever you go, which is a little disturbing, but it's actually not as scary as one thinks, and Uber are fixing that at the moment. I am still confident to drive with Uber while this is all happening, so I wouldn't worry too much. All these little ants that are spinning around here, they're all Ubers that are in my area, which is very cool. So you can see what's happening live, which is very nice. From here, you just pop in where you want to go to. So say I want to go to Los Angeles Airport from where I am. You can also select where you get picked up from. So say if you're in a restaurant, and you're not exactly on the road section that you want to be picked up on, but you do kind of know where you want to be, you can pop that in too. So it'll come up like that, PRAV. Now what you do is, if you're ready to travel between 2 and 5, 10 minutes, you hit request. Just this little black box down the bottom. Really easy, really easy. It will give you a price here, and that's a set price. And it will also give you an estimated time, how long it's going to take, right? So if you are going for a plane, I would suggest going for UberX and go a little earlier than you expect, just like a cab. We're going to now walk through the different options here. Let's start with Uber Pool. So Uber Pool is exactly that. It's a car sharing situation where someone else is getting an Uber towards an area that you're going to. So I'm in Hermosa Beach. The next suburb over is Manhattan Beach. And if we're both going towards the LA area, LAX area, and it's not going to be too much of an inconvenience for me, it's going to be about 5 minutes out of my way, that's the one for you. It's a little cheaper. It's always a little cheaper, and it may tack on a little bit of time, but it's always a nice option because you get to meet lots of people. The second option is UberX, and this is the most common one used. It's just like a cab. It works in the same way. You get your own driver, your own car, you go from A to B, you don't pick anyone else up. All of these have set prices. You just have to remember to highlight them before you hit request. So if you definitely want UberX, just see that it's highlighted there. The next option is UberXL. Now this one is fantastic if you're going to the airport on a trip, if you're going on a holiday and you have a lot of luggage, but you don't think it's all going to fit in the back of a Prius, that one is for you. It's also good for if you have several adults that are traveling about more than half an hour and you don't want to do the squish in the back of a car. It gives you a little more space, a little more room. It's nice. Okay, the next one is the premium section. For all of you who are of premium taste. Select is just a nice car. There are drivers who sign up who have Audis, who have Mercedes, and they charge a premium price for driving you. So if you want to turn up to dinner in that nice car and have a few martinis and then leave in that nice car, this one is for you. The second one is black. So if you have a business and you are using it sort of to get to meetings and things, that's a great one to use. If you just want to go somewhere nice in a black car, that's the one to use. At the moment, if you look at it, UberX is $18.38. Select is $36, black is $42. So you get an idea that there is a premium charge. The next one over is the Uber SUV, fairly self-explanatory. It's an SUV. Again, it's more expensive. This one's $56, but it'll be something nice. Now, one of the greatest things about this, and one of the reasons that I made this video is, yes, I have parents who are traveling and they're getting used to this, but they also have this awesome thing called Uber Assist. This one in LA, they have like little different variations depending on which city you're in. And this one has an Espanol, and that one's great. If you have a family member who's coming in who speaks Spanish and they are more comfortable speaking to someone in Spanish, that is a really great way of doing it. So you can select that, and that's $18.70. Brilliant. Uber Assist. Uber Assist is so exciting. This means that grandma, who was incredibly independent and did her own vacuuming up until the point where she was 90 and just couldn't walk to the shops anymore, can get a car to pick her up. And someone who is qualified with elderly people or people who need assistance to help them get in and out of the house. I love this. If my grandma was around and this was happening, I would have her on it. She would have loved it. Now, these people are trained, so they know when not to pull you and to push you, and they just know to take a little more care, but also be very respectful. It's great. They also have Uber WAV for wheelchair accessible rides. Keep in mind, this is still becoming popular, so you can't always get them in your area. Right now I have a signal that I can't get into my area, but sometimes you can. So just keep an eye, that's going to become more popular. And I love that feature. I think it's so great. So I think for everyone, even young people, young females, young males who just want a little more security. It's a great system. Okay, so you've jumped in, you've requested your Uber. You'll get a little car that pops up on the map and it'll show you where the Uber is coming, and it'll give you a little countdown timer. So it'll say it's going to be 6 minutes, and then it'll count down 5, 4, 3 until it comes to you. Now, when you see it's about 2, 3 minutes away, you go out to the curb and you wait, and then they'll pull up to you. Now, one of the coolest things is recently they've asked Uber drivers to put the logo on the front of their car. So when you order it, a little screen will pop up. It'll show you the car coming. It will also show you the name of the driver. So say I am being picked up by Paul, and Paul, it'll have Paul's number plate underneath, so I can match the number plate on my app to the car pulling up. It will also have, a lot of the drivers are now driving around with the Uber logo on the front sticker. It's a sticker on the front of their windscreen. So you can kind of identify if the car is correct. Then you always walk up and just confirm. So, hey Paul, I'm Lara. Just wanting to make sure this is my Uber. I have been in a situation where I did get into someone else's Uber because there are a lot of people around. So just double check. So, okay, you've gotten in. You started chatting, you've selected which one you want, and now you get to a point where you're having a great chat with people, the Uber driver's been lovely, sometimes they give you a little bottle of water. It's time to get out, and you don't have to do anything. You just get out of the car, which is so great. They will send you a little invoice in your email, and it will give you a map of where you went. It'll show you the charge cost, which is fantastic. And then if you have any disagreements, you just contact Uber, because they're a third party and they will assist in any issue that you're having. I had to report a driver that I didn't think was behaving correctly, and they took that into consideration, and they gave me a little bit of a financial gift because of it, just like half of a free ride or something. I just didn't want another passenger to have to go through that situation, that uncomfortable situation. Now, having said that, we've talked about financial security with your credit card. Now let's talk about security within the Uber. Uber have actually created a star rating system. It's like the movies. So when you first sign up, you get 5 stars. When the driver first signs up, they get 5 stars, which is so great because you can deduct stars. So if an Uber driver falls below a certain point, they get culled from the Uber pool category. They cannot drive. Same with you. If you have been misbehaving, if you've been rude or just done something that's not very nice, hurt the car or whatever, they can give you a certain amount of deductions of stars. Which means that if you're in a busy situation, no one's going to pick you up because they're going to realize that you don't have enough stars. So it just makes everyone put in a little more effort, which is really nice. That is the beginning. That is the walkthrough of how to use Uber. What I want you to take away from this is it's simple. It's really easy, and you can use it internationally, which is the way of the future. There will be another tutorial about how to download it, how to get it set up, how to do it. I have heard a few funny stories of, dads setting up Uber at the last minute and accidentally signing up to be a driver rather than signing up to be a passenger. Give yourself half an hour to set it up. Give yourself a little time to do it. I hope that this has helped. I hope this has helped alleviate the tech issue. I hope that it's helped educate you just a little bit. Know that Uber has really helped me as an expat, and it's also given mum and dad a little more confidence that I'm driving around in safety in a foreign city. So it works on both parts. So I hope that this has helped. Do check out angryexpat.com for more information, more expat advice, anything from helping you decipher the crazy world that is visas through to setting up bank accounts or getting health insurance or whatever. So far we've covered the UK, we've covered Australia, and we've covered the US. We're growing exponentially. Do become part of the community. We love to hear from you. And we will see you next time. Happy travels.